I work as a paid administrator for Craigslist, a site that, I'll admit, has had a pretty spotty reputation over the years. My job is largely to find and take down ads that breach Craigslist terms of service. So, naturally, I've seen some pretty strange and upsetting posts over my time. But this isn't about me. It's about the strangest ad I've ever had to remove. This is the full transcript of the post entitled, "For Sale, Healthy 5-Year-Old Girl, Free to a Good Home." Our daughter Amelia is the sweetest little angel you've ever met. We adopted her from a local halfway home when she was just 5 years old. She's got long, blonde hair, blue eyes, and the cutest little button nose you ever did see. She's 39.5 pounds and 42.5 inches tall, not to mention very cooperative. I know that every parent thinks that their child is special, but this really is no other child quite like Amelia. And the years you spend with her will be the best of your life. That much I can absolutely guarantee. We've had her for over a decade now, and there's not been a day that goes by where we haven't felt as though our lives have been enriched by her presence. She's a very precious girl, so very smart and elegant, especially for a 5-year-old. These years have just flown by for us, and if you think you can provide for her, you know this joy too. In the interest of full disclosure, there are a few things I should definitely tell you about Amelia's parents. She's had plenty of moms and dads through her lifetime. She's gotten very good at being a daughter, but I can't say I recommend taking Amelia into your loving home if you've never had a child before. Kids, even kids as sweet and caring as Amelia, can be a real handful sometimes. We adopted her after our little Danielle passed away from SIDS, so we couldn't bring a baby into our lives again. Too many painful memories. That's why we've decided to adopt our older child. And by some fantastic stroke of luck, Amelia was the one to fill the gap in our aching hearts. You'll find that for a 5-year-old, Amelia is quite brilliantly talented at a number of different pursuits. She can paint, write, and play music like some Renaissance virtues. She tells us that it's because she's had plenty of time to practice, and after a few weeks of being her new parents, we definitely believe her. However, Amelia's greatest talent, the thing that makes her so very special, is that she can tell you things that you haven't thought about in years. On the day we adopted her, she perfectly recounted a weekend I spent at Lake St. Clair with my parents when I was her age. It was something that I didn't even remember, but she told the story like she'd been there, watching it, the day before. The nights flew by as my husband and I listened intently to our little angel perfectly reciting our old memories. Our fondly remembered weekends and passionate Friday nights. It was so brilliant at first, and really, it still is. She was able to tell us every minuscule detail of memories. Of course, most recently I realized that we had the cause and effect all mixed up. Amelia wasn't telling us about these memories because we'd forgotten them. We were forgetting them because Amelia was telling us about them. It was amazing, honestly, as though she just plucked them from our heads and read them out like words on a page. She did this for some time, and I can't say I remember a great deal now, beyond the memory of our time with Amelia. She took those all away from us. I'll admit that we've slowed down since Amelia came into our lives too. She was always so bubbly and energetic, always bouncing out the walls, but my husband and I started getting so tired. As the years marched on, we just seemed shrinked and wrinkled and creaked, losing hair. Our skin became baggy and liver-spotted, our joints developing advanced arthritis. We looked more like 80 than 30. But Amelia, she always stayed the same beautiful, intelligent, spellbinding 5-year-old girl. We didn't regret giving her our years and our minds. On some subconscious level, we knew she'd use them better than we ever would have, even if she never grows up. We're getting old now. All in all, we were lucky to reach 34, but I'm not optimistic about 35. We're too frail. We couldn't bear to let her see us whittle away into total nothingness. That just wouldn't be right for a parent to do that to their child. So please, if you think that you can provide a loving home for our little girl, contact us, and we'll see what we can sort out. Please don't hesitate. Time is a factor here. No little girl should ever have to live without parents. A hunter is out in the woods, and after a long, unsuccessful day realizes night is quickly approaching. Knowing it would be impossible to make it home before dark, he wanders until he finds a cabin in the woods. He sets his gun on the porch and knocks on the door. The latch is broken and the door creaks open. He calls in to see if the cabin is occupied, but no one answers. The hunter steps in and looks around. He reaches for a light but finds there is no power. The cabin is one room, and the hunter feels his way around and finds a bed in the corner. He strips down of all his clothes and collapses in the bed. From the bed, the hunter looks around and notices several portraits on the walls. He doesn't recognize any of the faces, although notice mushingly that all the portraits seem to be staring at him. He falls into a deep, comfortable sleep. Morning arrives. The hunter looks around the cabin during daylight for the first time. He realizes there never were any portraits, only windows.